Good evening, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino beer review. Today you have the Rhino. We're drinking a beer I picked up at the LCBO. This is from, well, is it a microbrasserie? What is it? Excuse me. It's St. Louis, but, what is the thing they give? It's covered over. Okay. It's covered over. So this beer is best before September 9th, 2020. It is 6.5% alcohol. It's a product of Belgium. It is, I believe, a microbrasserie St. Louis, because it isn't an Abbey or anything. Excuse me. Traditionally brewed. This is their Fond Tradition, which is what basically all their beers are called that I've had personally. This is their Kriek Lambic or Peach Lambic. Ale with cherries. Contains barley malt. Just looking to see what else I can find on here that is not in French. And not much. Okay, so I have had a couple beers from these guys. I've had a cuvee and I believe a Lambic Rene. No, a cuvee and a... Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up, but yeah, I don't even remember. I don't even care anymore. Now, I haven't liked any of the beers I've had by them, though. One of them I had with my wife, and she hated it, but I figure oh, it had the oxidation cap, too. Mostly because it can last for so long. It has the cap that basically won't let oxygen in. It's supposed to be almost as good as canning. I remember the first time I heard of this brewery, I didn't know anything about it yet. I had just seen it online on a beer search through the LCBO, and I'm like, ooh, is this a new, because of St. Louis, I'm like, ooh, is this a new Anheuser-Busch thing that's tricking me? And then when I went to look at it, I saw the product of Belgium. And I'm like, oh, okay, product of Belgium, I'm okay with that. And then I hated them. Every beer I had by them, I had hated. I did not rinse this glass before I filled it. It has a lot of watermarks. Again, I know it's watermarks because I did clean it with the brush. Fuck. But yeah, that's super red. That is obviously a beer with cherries. That is redder than red. The head is a beautiful pinkish head. Yeah, looks beautiful. Smell. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the other two beers I've had from these guys, the other two traditional brewings, the traditions, the beers, have been fairly gross to me. One of them was like perm chemical, and one of them was just burning. And I didn't like either of them. I didn't like the smell. I didn't like anything. I can tell you right now, I love this smell. That's cherries. Oh, that's cherries. So much cherries. And cherries and a touch of sourness is what I'm getting. So both sweet cherry and sour cherry are probably black and red. Smells good. Let's try it. Cheers. Okay, so Kriek Lambics are probably one of my favorite Lambics. I like Lindemans. I like Mort Subite. There's a plethora of really nice cherry lambics out there. Off that first sip, this doesn't touch the plethora of really good ones. It's not bad, but it doesn't touch the plethora of really good ones. So, my buddy Randy picked up Star Trek Season 3 for me, The Next Generation. I'm admitting that I'm a Star Trek nerd right now. I grew up, I was weird. I was a weird demographic because I was a jock and a nerd at the same time and a metalhead, and I was like the middle guy. I was the neutral. I was the neutral ground, and everybody else was around me. So all my group of friends were all different genres of friends, all different cliques, if you will, and I brought them all together. And I can tell you, I can still remember the first time, and this beer is just making me think of this story, okay? So here we go. Paradigms, right? Paradigms. Beer's all about paradigms. So I can remember the very first time I got hard as a child. It was watching Star Trek: The Next Generation. And I didn't remember the episode until just now. Now I can tell you which episode it was. I believe it was episode 8 of season 3, which is it's called The Price, and it's when everybody is bidding on taking over a wormhole. And there's this guy that's trying to hit on Deanna Troi, and Deanna Troi to me was hot back then. I was probably 9 years old at this time. Maybe 10, because it might have been reruns. So, in this episode, she, has sex with the guy. You don't see her having sex, but she's in the bedroom clothes, and she's in this, exercise outfit, and she's exercising with Dr. Crusher, and she's also, at one point in the episode, having her feet rubbed, and I remember the oily feet and all that, and just the guy rubbing. But, yeah, I got hard in that episode for my very first time. When was your very first time? But, and then I watched the episode now, and I'm watching it going, wow, how did this make me hard? I must have been a fucking sheltered kid. So it's like that. You drink the beer, and you think you're going to get hard because a lot of these type of beers have made you love it before, and then you're just disappointed. It's like that. It's like rewatching the episode that made you hard for the very first time. Drinking this beer is like rewatching the episode that made you hard for the very first time. It's just disappointing. There is a cherry flavor. It's both sweet and tart, but there is an acidic, a very high acidic value to the beer. There's a very high kick in the beer, and it doesn't. You get that cherry taste. You get the cherry taste, and then you just get this acidity, and that's it, really. Cherry taste, acidity, and then a slightly sour earthiness at the finish. It's just a disappointing beer. It could be much better. It's like having a cherry tart that's been sitting out for a week and a half before you ate it. It has some nice cherry flavors, and then it has nothing. It's not a bad beer. It's not like their other two beers that I really disdained, but it's just not a beer that I really care for. I'd give it a 5.5 out of 10. I could drink it. I could. And remember, my rankings are not exactly, are they the best beer, this and that. My rankings go on, would I pay money for it again? Would I recommend it? All that. I recommend, even if I give a beer a 0 out of 10, I want you to try it yourself. But at 5.5, yeah, I could say, yeah, it's a passable beer. It didn't disgust me. It didn't offend me. It didn't do any of that. But I just wouldn't want to drink it again unless somebody else bought it. If I was sharing it with somebody that bought it, fine, whatever, I'll share it with you. But I'm never going to pay money for this beer again. And that's just where my marking is. It's fine. It's passable. I just don't care to drink it again. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Drink the rest of this while I watch episode 12 of Star Trek: The Next Generation Season 3. Bye.